Thank you for watching Carlene and Friends. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll have something for you very frequent. So when you hit that notification bell, you'll get a notification every time we upload a video. So this will help us. So I want to take you on my journey from Angels, Spanish Town, St. Catherine to Negril. First, I want to say to folks that you don't have to bother someone to take you from point A to point B in Jamaica. The Knutsford Express can take you there. The Knutsford Express, very comfortable. I will talk about a little bit about my journey. You'll see some of the images while riding on the Knutsford Express. We started out in Angels, as I said, in Spanish Town. I was coming from Clarendon, and I had to go to Angels because I want to get to Negril early in the day. But the Knutsford Express from Mineral Heights, it doesn't leave until about 5 o'clock. That will get me into Negril later in the evening. I didn't want that. As you can see, we're passing some really nice places. I believe this is Ocheria. Some of this, I got as many signs as I can, as I could. And you'll see some of these nice images as I'm passing through. So going from the service at Angels was pretty good. You're allowed, I forgot how many suitcases. We just passed the Rio in Ocherias. So we are allowed X amount of suitcase. I don't think they limited me. They didn't have to weigh it. They give you your tickets. As a matter of fact, I asked a friend of mine to purchase, my sister-in-law to purchase the tickets for me at Mineral Lights. So she purchased it at the tickets at Mineral Lights. It's tickets for two. And we're supposed to be there half an hour before the bus leaves. The bus supposed to leave at 5:30. At 6:30, we got there a little after 5:30. We had enough time. This ibex thing that I just passed, that looks like something big happening. I don't know what ibex is about, but yes. So we got there, we checked in, few people came on, checked in as well, and we were hungry. It's early in the morning, but nowhere is open. No food place or anything was open. So there was a patty. We smelled food cooking, but I guess it's the patty shop. Now we're at Drax Hall. So I'm cutting into my story. This was our first stop, and it's Drax Hall. I believe this is Saint Anne. God help me if it's not. So this was our first stop, Drax Hall. And this was a 10-minute stop. He said we were able to get off. There's the big sign, Knutsford Express. We were able to get off, use the bathroom, get a snack or two. Nothing major you can buy there. They had sandwiches. We just bought a couple of drinks because we did, as I was telling you before, that we smelled patty. But the guy said if you come back at 6:30, the patties will be done. But guess what? The bus comes at 6:30. And it did come at 6:30. And just in time for the guy, for us to run back to the patty place and then and get a patty. So we had the patty. We had a lot. We had lots of water, and I think I had drinks anyway. So we left Drax Hall on our way to the next stop. Our next stop, I'll tell you what where our next stop will be. But it's a nice view. As you can see, the ocean. I sat on the right hand. And I'm saying that because I'm going to make a point about sitting on the left hand. So, the first part of my journey, I sat on the right hand side where the ocean was, and I was able to see the ocean, zoom in from the ocean. We did not get, our seat was in the back, almost the second to last row, because we wanted to sit together. And when we got in there, because there was a little guy that was in front of us, and the guy that was taking the ticket, he was just ignoring that little boy. So everybody was coming around her, so we ended up getting the back seat, a second to last back seat. I was kind of upset because we wanted to sit together. Look at the beautiful ocean Jamaica has. This is a little fishing village right there we passed. And a little stop area we also passed. So getting on the bus driver, very polite. He drive very careful. I like the way he was driving. There was music in the bus. Very low. I like it. I like it because there are a couple people that look at the Lieutenant Stitchy. I didn't even see that sign. God bless him. He's coming along nicely. I heard Lieutenant Stitchy. God bless him. He was ill, and they were raising funds all over for his medical bills. But to God be the glory. I heard he's coming on very well. So as I was saying, there was a couple people that were playing their devices. This is a little too loud. This is welcome to Fantasy Beach. Fantasy Beach. Okay. So, and I want to say this to people. And what I notice, it's our people. When I say our people, is our brown skinned people, dark skinned people. Whether you are from Jamaica, whether you are from America, Africa, Haiti, I want to tell you all, stop playing your devices in public. You get a phone call, you put it on speaker, and everybody has to hear your conversation. No, I do not want to hear your conversation. And another thing, I don't care what you're playing. When you're in a public setting, I love gospel music. We didn't hire you to be the DJ. Put in your headphones, your earplugs, or whatever you want to put in, and you listen to your music. I don't want you to share your music with me. If we're in a car, a car and I'm driving, you listen to my music. Okay? I put on the music. You don't come into my car with your music. I forgot what the hotel I just passed, but I know that hotel. Anyway, just walk with your earphones. Or guess what? Just don't play your music out loud. I go in public places. I go into the doctor's office, and somebody is on their cell phone having a nice conversation. I don't want to hear your conversation, nor do I want to hear your music. Okay? Take it off speaker, please. Take it off speaker. So, but on another note, there was a lady behind me, very deep American. And I say deep American because she didn't have a Jamaican accent. And apparently she was going to Montego Bay. She must be going to the airport. And she was having a conversation with, maybe it's her child. The first one she called and she told them not to put use the detergent pods instead of the detergent because he and I'm gonna stop here. By the way, I don't know what they're building over there, but I've passed these a couple of times. But because we're driving in cars, I could not see these buildings, and they're really nice. Looks like they are townhouses or villas or whatever they are. They are really nice. And I've never, I couldn't see them before because we were always driving in cars. So now that we're in the Knutsford Express, you can see above that. So, so the lady, she started talking to her son and she told him to use the pods because she doesn't want him to use the detergent because he doesn't know how much to use and he's always making a mess. And he should remember when they're washed to make sure you take them out of the dryer. If I forget to call you, just make sure you take them out the dryer and you take them out the washing machine and put them in the dryer. So she was giving him good instructions. Now, that wasn't so bad. Then she made another call and she said, "Why aren't you in school?" Now, this is another person. So she said, you didn't wake up for school and you didn't know it was a school day? I told you it was a school day. You had to go to school, but you did not want to go to school and you've been sleeping all morning. And now the school called me and she was just going on and on. And then she said something that was very interesting, and I'll leave it there. She said, "You know that you and your daughter don't have the same school times. And sometimes when your daughter is off from school, that doesn't mean you are off." I was like, "Okay, let me leave that alone." So I just leave that alone. Okay, so here's the Ryu. I can see the Ryu in Runaway Bay. So this is Runaway Bay. You can spot the Ryu from afar. And of course, the building on the right of the Ryu is the adult section, and then the one on the left is the family. So this is the Ryu. Sorry, not the Ryu. This is the Bahia Principe. Sorry, Bahia Principe, not the Ryu. Bahia Principe. Yes. Yeah, so going back to phone conversations, people, when you have your phones, we don't have to hear your conversation. Now that lady was different, because she said what she had to say and she got off the phone. I did not hear the person on the other line. I did not hear that person. And this is, no, I can't read that. Puerto Seco Beach. That's what that is. Puerto Seco Beach. Been there once. Um, yes. So I didn't. It wasn't a two-way. We can only hear the one person, and she was done. She said what she had to say, and she was done. And then the other lady, across the seat from me, she was having a conversation. She was trying to turn it down, but she had it on speaker. So why do you have it on speaker and still putting it up to your ears? So anyway, I wish I could just tap everybody on their shoulder who put their phone on speaker and speaking in public. I just want to say, I don't want to hear your conversation. Please keep it to yourself. Take it off speaker. Or somebody will be playing. You know what's annoying? Somebody will be playing a game and you can hear them ping, ping. That ping is just ninging in my ears. It's just, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. So we are still on the bus to Negril, and um, journey was very good. There was some cloudy areas, a little drizzle, a little part, but not raining. So that made the ride very smooth. I don't know if you can see at some angle to the left, you can see a guy in a white hat, and that's just the reflection from his hat. But it was a fairly decent crowd. It was all the seats were taken except for two. There were two seats that weren't filled, and there was a young man. What I said before, he had a minor seat, but everybody was, pretty much decent. No loud talking. You know, just it was just a comfortable ride. I don't like loud talking around me and so forth. The gentleman in front of me, he had a couple of conversations. It was okay. He didn't have his phone on speaker, but he was okay talking, and then eventually he fell asleep. And but that was good. So, we have some beautiful views. I guess the bus was going fast enough. It's going a little too fast for me to see some of the places that we passed. We passed Runaway Bay and a few places that I saw, and looks like we're about to go to the next stop. Now, if I can remember which stop this is. As soon as I get there, we will see the stop. See the bus, fairly decent, very nice. They have curtains to block out the shades. Now, don't worry about the TV because that doesn't really work. Now, this stop was just pull up and get out. And I'll tell you what this stop is in a minute. It was just pull out. I think this is Duncan's. It probably is. I don't remember. But they didn't even say if anybody wanted to use the bathroom or anything like that. So they just pull up. I don't even remember if somebody got on. I think one person got off. But that was it. We still had a full bus and back on the road again. So this bus has Wi-Fi. You didn't need a password. You can just tap in the Wi-Fi. But as I was vlogging, I realized, and the reason why you have the voiceover is because there's a little bit of music playing. So, copyright. So I did not want to. I had to mute all the talking or the description. I have everything. I was talking, describing the journey and documenting the journey, and it was really, really good. But because of the music in the background, unfortunately, I have to do a voiceover. So the bus has, as I said, Wi-Fi. Now I was looking to do to charge the phone, and I wasn't able to charge the phone because for some reason the charger port is not the regular charger port. I don't know if I was doing it wrong, or but the ones in my seat were not the regular. So I was actually running out of charge. So I was down to like 38% from videoing, and I didn't. And here goes the Iberstar in Rose Hall. I guess we are in Montego Bay by now. So we're in Montego Bay. That's the Iberstar Rose Hall. Rose Hall. We're heading to Montego Bay. Look at this beautiful building that I can just imagine when this is done. I guess it's a resort or something, but when this is done, this is gonna be beautiful. And it has an adjacent building, and a lot of the resorts are like that. They have different buildings, you know. Unlike the US, it's all combined in one, you know. So but these are different buildings. So we're on the road again. We passed those buildings, a lot of open space land, and I'm wondering I'm just wondering who owns some of these beautiful luscious land. Look over this area right here. This is another resort, looks like. And of course, I think I am going to close to see I don't quite remember the name of that hotel now, but we're still heading to Montego Bay, and this is that strip there that people try to drive crazy. They have a smooth road. The road is good. No kind of no bumps. So Jamaicans get crazy when they see smooth road. They just think it's smooth sailing, and the smoother the road is, the faster they should go. Not so, people. Just slow down. You know how many lives could be saved if you slow down? And the thing about it, sometimes you're not even going anywhere. Just want to start speeding. Look at this nice hotel. This is a nice one as well. This is beautiful. This is a nice one. Nice hotel. I'm not sure if this is the Rose Hall, the Hilton Rose Hall or something. Not sure what that is. I should have zoomed in, and I will see the names of it. But this part in Montego Bay is beautiful. Just these beautiful hotels, these that celebrities come, these hidden gems, these hideaways that they come. Very, very nice. Very nice. And then we have they had on this bus, they had a bathroom. And what we're used to in the States, when we go on these buses, 55 or 57 seaters, I'm not sure how many seater the Knutsford Express is, because it's a smaller bus than our regular charter bus. I know it's a little bit smaller. It's a little tighter too. But their bathroom is like in the middle, and you step down and go to the bathroom. In opposed to our charter buses, the bathroom is in the back. But this one is like in the middle, and you go down a few steps to the bathroom. The temperature of the bus, I know I'm talking about describing the bus, and you will see why I'm describing the bus towards the end. The temperature of the bus was, when we first got in there, it was a little hot, and we went to the back. So the back was, this is the Catalonia Hotel. Catalonia. I believe this was the Holiday Sun Spree, something like that before. And it's something else. Somebody, if you're watching this video, you can correct me if I'm wrong. And this is Sandals. We're passing Sandals now. Of course, the famous Sandals. There's a little traffic jam over in this area because there's a traffic light as well. So the temperature when we got in the bus, the front, as soon as we stepped up, we were like, wow, it's pretty cold. But for me, it's okay. Cold. I like to. So we're passing White House, or I don't know if it's to White House, because I thought White House was in the other parish, Westmoreland or Hanover. I thought that was where the White House is. But we're passing a sign that says White House. I don't know if it's a district, an area, a resort, or whatever. So here we are coming towards the airport. So let me finish telling you the story about when we got in the bus. The bus was very cold, like, ooh, it's cold. Ooh, people were like, oh, it's cold. But I know I can tolerate the cold. I don't like the heat. So, but the further I got to the back, as I said, I ended up in the back. It was a little stuffy in the back. So I had to take out my little hand fan. There we are. We are in Montego Bay, and we're at the airport, our next stop. And we're at the airport, and the first stop is in the airport. There are two stops. The first stop that we made was the departure. That's the first stop. And then we had to make another stop in the airport. So first stop is arrival, and the second stop is departure. But folks, you're not going to guess what happened. This is when they told us that we are transferring. Now, I don't have a problem transferring. I just need to know that in advance what they need. I'm not a regular traveler on the Knutsford Express. So when I go to buy a ticket to go to Negril, you need to say when you get to you will be transferred from Montego Bay to Negril. Simple as that. There was a lady on the bus that says, oh yeah, I'm going straight to Negril, but somebody is going to pick me up from Montego Bay. I'm not going to go on the bus to Negril. So somebody is going to pick me up from Montego Bay. Somebody could have picked me up too, so I just thought that's something, that's just a little lack on customer service. So they should have said, okay, here's your ticket. Once you buy a ticket to Negril, once you get to Montego Bay, you'll be transferred. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that if you had told me in advance. So we are there now in Montego Bay. waiting. We did not wait long. When I asked the, because our bus was pulling up, and I asked a lady, um, first we asked the guy who dropped us off how long it's gonna be, and he said about 20-25 minutes before the next for the Negril bus to come. Okay. When I got in the when I got out to the Montego Bay stop and we got off the bus, we were a lot of people were just waiting outside. Didn't know some there was another inside to wait, which had AC, because where we sat was where the when we were outside, we were sitting by the air conditioned unit and it was blowing off hot air. This is outside, so it's the unit that's connected for the inside was blowing off hot air for us. So I went in, used the bathroom. Then I, just thought maybe I'll ask this lady. So I asked one of the workers there, and she said, "Hold on, I really don't know, but I'll find out for you." She came back to say it's 10 minutes because I saw the bus coming. That's why I asked her, because since the guy told me 20 minutes, it's only been about 3 minutes. So she said, let me find out. And then she said the bus comes at 12:10. And I was like, okay. So is this the bus? And she said, I don't know. Let me check for you. And then she said, yes, it's the bus. So I didn't want what happened to us before. Like, we waited to the end of the line to go in the bus and go to the back. So we wanted a front seat. So kind of push our way up. And we actually could have had the front seat. But somebody didn't want to sit in the front. So we took the next seat over. And even though the bus was empty, trying to tell somebody to go in the other seat so that they can have the whole room for themselves, because that somebody slept the whole journey. And I was up recording. Now, this guy came on just like the same guy, introduced himself and told us about what time we will reach, told us the good thing about the bus, and thank you for choosing the Knutsford Express. It's very comfortable. Your ride will be comfortable, and all the 9 yards, until he said, unfortunately, there's no restroom on this bus. So people didn't care much. And there is no, and also there are no outlets and no Wi-Fi. And everybody was like, oh no. And we just, so we joked around with him, and he's like, he wasn't too pleasant. That driver was not pleasant at all. He wasn't rude, but he wasn't pleasant. But this driver, he drove. Look at these. Look at these nice buildings that they're building. That's so nice. Like, whatever they are, whether they're townhouses, whether they're hotels, they're just nice. As you can see, this driver is driving faster than the one was driving before. You can tell that he was driving real fast. And, he was just swinging around the corners, and, I kind of like that too. Hold on. Look at these lovely houses. And some of them aren't even finished building yet. Now, the downside to driving sitting on the left side of the bus is that we're going to not see anything. I kind of, cut those out because we're just so close to driving to the wall. At some point, I thought Believe me, I thought I was going to crash. I thought he was going to crash into the wall. He was so close to the wall. I thought, literally thought he was going to crash. So I was a little bit nervous there. And I like to show little everything in Jamaica, the good, the bad, and not so good. So, even if, I just like people to see Jamaica. Notice how I kind of zoom my camera into the lanes when I pass in the lanes because I want to see you up in the lanes. I want to see the people with their clothes hanging on the line, I want to see those things. And I did get to see a lot of that, which I don't remember or recall seeing driving this route to Negril before. I know I did the southern route, and that was nice. So I kind of cut out most of the driving at the wall or seeing just I shouldn't say the wall, there's the rocks, it was so close to the rocks. Now look at this place. Now, if we were driving our car, we wouldn't be able to see that. But because we are driving we're riding the bus, we can see these houses. Would I live here? They're kind of close, very close, kind of like the houses they make in Portmore, but the ones that they made in Portmore, these recent houses there, have more room. These don't seem to have much room between them, but they're not like those regular Portmore, those older Portmore houses. So of course we're in Lucy, Hanover. So as you can see the sign, and this is I like this. I like seeing things like this where the people are, selling and people are buying, people are walking about their daily business, doing what they need to be done. And yeah, so this is the town of Lucy. So if you're watching this video and this is Lucy, Hanover, make a comment. Tell us about Lucy, Hanover. I'm just coming here. I don't even remember ever have to come to Lucy, Hanover. I don't. I don't. But I see, there's a lot going on. People are shopping. You have the police station, bakery. See how close I am to the wall? See how close? That's what I'm telling you. I am so close to the wall. And then these little Calbut that I don't think I recorded some of those, but it's so like, oh my God, is the wheel going to be um run right into the Calbut? Or, especially when he's turning the corner, I swear the wheel is gonna go over it. Ugh. And look how close I am. And that's a church. See? This is close. This is close to somebody's, I think it's somebody's house, or probably a business place. But it is very, very close. Look at that. Can somebody really walk in between there? But the bus is driving there. Look how he's going around the corner. That's what I'm telling you. I thought the bus was going to just run up on the sidewalk. Look how fast he's going around the corner. And the thing is, I don't remember his name. He looked like, I'm not being a racist, but he looks Middle Eastern or Indian, but he's a darker complexion Indian. He seems to have a slight accent. His name, I remember like his name was something like Mishar, Avishar, something like that. So if you know him, I mean, kudos to you driving like that, but it's not everybody likes the adventurous drive. I don't like that at all. So, and, lighten up, dude. You don't have to be so stiff. Lighten up. And then the music. Okay. Yes, that got me. You remember I was talking about the music on another bus, on the first bus? The music was just a little bit too high for me. It was too high. Okay? Please, folks. Younger people probably like those music, but younger people are not taking those buses. It's people like me and up in their upper ages. They're the ones sitting on these buses. So we don't have to have the latest genre of music and turn it down. Here we are at another Knutsford Express. This is the Lucea Depot. So this is where we are at the Lucea Depot. So again, we stopped, didn't get off the bus. There was no bathroom break. Didn't ask us if we need a bathroom break, or I guess if we needed one, we should have said it. But it was okay, So at least I said I've been to Lucea on the Knutsford Express. It was good to be there. And again, it's going really fast. Notice the difference of this video from before. I mean, it was fast. The one before was fast, like up until we got to Montego Bay, but I couldn't see all the signs. But that was fast. Now this one is a little faster. Notice I'm giving that grin where, I kind of like, is he okay? You see, the sign said slow. Didn't you see the sign? The sign said slow. Now, I'm driving on the left-hand side. I'm sitting on the left-hand side now, and there's nothing now to see. But on the right hand side, there are some really nice beaches and stuff. So then I asked him, see, we passed Sandals. I asked him, can you just take the camera and go on that side? Because he would not go over this side. He wouldn't go over the side. And then he got mad and he took the camera, and there he is, pointing it out on the next side. And again, it's going too fast. It's going too fast. Well, our estimated time of when we got on the bus was supposed to be 12:30. We are supposed to reach at in Negril. Folks, we got to Negril at 12:05. Even though he said that the ride was, I forgot how long he said it was supposed to be, but it wasn't. It was so, because he's just swinging around those corners, man, and the Knutsford Express. So now we're in Negril, and we're gonna pull up shortly from shortly at the Negril depot, and I had to call the person to pick me up from the depot because I told them 12:30, and now I gotta call him at 12:05 to say, hey, we're there. You can come pick us up now. We're here. We arrived. And because he wasn't expecting to see us at that time. This is beautiful. He was not expecting to see us at that time, so he kind of was running late. Okay. So we're about to pull up. I think we're about to pull up now. It's slowing down, so maybe this is where we're pulling up. Well, thank you guys for watching. We're in Negril. God bless you. Thank you. Like, share, and subscribe. God bless you.